Festive greetings, everybody, and it's time for a brand new Reaction and Review UK. Yes, everybody, it's Christmas time! That one time of year where we all pretend to be nice to each other, then go back to being assholes the very next day. I gotta love the holidays, don't you? Now, even though I don't really like this holiday, I thought I'd try and make the effort for all three of you watching this video. So, how are we going to start off the festive season? Home Alone. I think for the first Christmas month, I'm pretty going to watch all the movies that are Christmas classics to me. And then next year I'll delve into more bizarre Christmas movies, like, what's that, Father Christmas versus the Martians or something like that, but, oh well. Now, I know Macaulay Culkin is the subject to a lot of jokes these days, usually involving Michael Jackson, but I really want to focus on what the movie does, not what the actor's outside life is, because this is something that a lot of people do that pisses me off. Focus on the content, not everybody else. So how does Home Alone stack up today? Is it a comedy classic, or just a big lump of bar humbug? Be aware, I'm trying to throw a lot of these puns in there, just before I give you a fair warning. With that in mind, everybody, grab some to drink. It's time to send the family off to vacation, because we're going to be sitting home alone.
Listen, Kevin, what are you so worried about? You know Mom's gonna pack your stuff anyway. You're what the French call les incompetents.
And you're what the English call a cunt.
Mom's away! How fast does this thing go? Does it have automatic transmission? Does it have four-wheel drive?
Why do you have to ask such annoying fucking questions? Why are you in this movie? Why are you such an obnoxious little shit? See, I can ask stupid questions too, kid. Fuck off.
I made my family disappear.
You made the human race disappear too? Then you'd be my personal hero.
We have to use the phone, please. I'm sorry, it's an emergency. We really have to make a call. Please, our brother's home alone.
Americans overpowering a different nation to get what they want.
Here, get some
Typical
tape.
America.
Call everybody you know.
Yeah, fuck you too.
Where are you, you little creep?
I got your shine box for ya. So, that was Home Alone. Let's just put a stop to that. Alright, since this is a classic movie, let's answer the big question first of all. Does it still hold up by today's standard? Is it still a good movie? Or is it past the test of time? Yeah, I still think it's really funny. I mean, a couple of the jokes are corny and dated now, but I still think this is a good movie. Now that we answered that, let's go on with the pros and cons. I think one of the best things about the first two Home Alone movies, or should I say the only Home Alone movies, is the Angels with Filthy Soul segments. Is it wrong that I want to see those as full movies? I mean, I understand they are a spoof of a movie franchise, which name I've already forgotten, but you can Wikipedia this yourselves. It feels so out of place for the movie that it just makes it great. It's like watching a movie about, like, Care Bears, for example, and there's like a Nightmare on Elm Street parody in there. It's just like, what? Or, just something ridiculous, like, I don't know. I'm sure you can think of something. So yeah, the Angels with Filthy Soul segment was always brilliant. The Wet Bandits themselves are probably the best characters in the movie. The banter between Harry and Mark. I mean, Joe Pesci you just know half the time he wanted to swear his head off, but, I think the best we got out of him was, "Where are you, little creep?" When he could have said something far worse. I guess one of the things the movie does teach you is the value of family. I mean, yeah, we argue, we bicker with each other, and we say things we don't mean, but deep down we all know we can't live without our family, and we all love them to pieces. And the movie's a good way of reminding you of that. Even if you get what you want when you say, "I never want to see you again," deep down, you don't mean it, and you begin to miss people. And the movie's a good teacher of that. One thing I like is the evolution of Kevin's character. I mean, when you start the movie, he's pretty much an annoying little shit, can't do anything for himself, and by the end of the movie, he's doing everything, and he's got a giant boost of confidence. Now, I know nobody's going to make this connection, but I want to just throw this in here. It's kind of similar to things like Metroid and Mega Man X. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. You know when you begin the first Mega Man X, and in some cases Metroid games, where you really can't do a lot of things, and you're limited in what you can do, and by the end, you're basically overpowered as shit, and you've beaten all the things that you couldn't do before? That's kind of the same thing with Kevin. He starts off, basic skills, can't do anything for himself, and by the end, he's learned things, and he's advanced and grown as a character. And he kind of carries that true in the second movie, where he learns even more things. Again, I know, I'm sure nobody's going to get the whole Metroid Mega Man comparison, but that's just how I see it. And I really love John Candy. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with the Angels with Filthy Souls thing. I wanted to see his character's own movie, because it's just such a charming little story, and you wanted to see more of it. I mean, some of the jokes, with the contraptions, the traps, they were a lot of fun. Just go right down there. I mean, the paint cans are the most iconic thing about the movie. I mean, probably when you think of Home Alone, you think of those paint cans that come down, hit them in the face. So, yeah, gonna go with the pros. Angels with Filthy Souls, The Wet Bandits, Value of Family, evolution of Kevin's character, John Candy, and the traps that he comes up with. Now let's get into the cons about this. I have to say, one of my biggest complaints with the movie is the family themselves. I mean, Kevin's okay, but the family are really underdeveloped. I mean, Kevin's mom, Kevin's dad, and Uncle Frank, they're kind of developed. You know bits and pieces about them. But aside from a name, you don't really know much about the others. I mean, bits and pieces are told to you about Buzz, for example. But all you really know is he's a jerk. That's it. And it's something that I hope the second movie would have built upon, but it doesn't really do that. You don't really know anything. It's just, you know their name, you get a vague idea what their personality is, and that's it. It would have been nice if the family, they all try to get back together. I mean, because I think it would have been better if it was the whole family trying to rush back to Chicago to see Kevin rather than just the mom. Because the mom is developed through that. I mean, because you think at the beginning she's just, she doesn't really give a shit about Kevin. But, her motherly instincts kick in and she's trying to get there. If the whole family tried to do the same thing, it would have been a much better, more developed story. Because the family then, you'd sort of see like, oh shit, we were kind of horrible to him. What will we do if he gets hurt? You kind of get a scene with that, but again, it's underdeveloped and it's just with two characters. Mitch Murphy. What was the point of this character? Now, if you don't know who Mitch Murphy is, he's the character at the beginning of the movie when the family are getting ready, get into the vans, I guess is the better term, to get to the airport. He's the kid that's asking all those annoying questions, and his head is counted instead of Kevin's. You could have done that exact same scene without Mitch Murphy. Then I've already figured out how they think that Kevin was there. The bit when Buzz starts going 11, 92, 12... I think her name was Jenny, the girl doing the head count. She loses her train of thought, loses her concentration, and accidentally skips a number. And counts the amount of kids, she thinks Kevin is there. That would have been one way to do it, but with Mitch Murphy, it's just... Apart from just, having his head counted, he served no purpose to the story. And, just... That's how I feel about it. Well, the concept of being home alone is great. The movie doesn't really go far enough. I mean, when I was a kid, if I was left home alone, I would invite all my friends around. If I had any. And just other things about the movie. I mean, he doesn't really go far enough. I mean, yeah, he goes through his brother's stuff. He runs around screaming his head off and watching R-rated movies. But when I was a kid, and when I was left alone for the first time, I did a lot of crazy shit. And some of the things he did do were a bit unrealistic. The whole tobogganing down the stairs. I can't think of a single kid who'd do that. Ordering the pizza, I mean, yeah, again, didn't go far enough. I guess what I'm trying to say is that at times it felt a bit unrealistic, or too realistic, shall we say. Even though we're supposed to root for him and his character does go for a lot of changes, Kevin can be quite annoying at times. I know, Macaulay Culkin's whole shtick back in the old days was he was kind of that annoying kid that kind of asked these irritating questions, and he kind of spoke in this way. You want me to act and do things differently? I don't think so. Yeah, it got really fucking annoying. I mean, he tones it down, and the whole screaming his head off thing does wear out its welcome. At times, I wanted Harry and Marv to beat the little shit out of him, but he does kind of redeem himself. And last but not least, this could be considered just a nitpick here, reusing gags. Well, I will admit the whole Angels with Filthy Souls gag on the pizza boy was clever. It's pretty clever. They kind of used that again in the sequel, much to my chagrin. But reusing it again for Marv, it just felt a bit pointless, and they added a little thing to it where he likes the firecrackers to make it more convincing, yet why doesn't he do that with the pizza boy? I like to think the pizza boy is a bit sharper than Marv. I mean, using the firecrackers on the pizza boy would have been more convincing, because he seems like a sharp kid, you know? Marv is about as smart as a brick, so, you know, even if you didn't use the firecrackers, you know, just that's all I'm trying to say. Home Alone is one of those movies where you either love it or you hate it, and personally, I watch it every fucking year at Christmas time because it is a classic. The sequel does have its fair share of problems in that it kind of just reuses things from the first movie, which is something that Back to the Future 2 has a problem. But again, I love both movies as well, but it's just a minor nitpick I have with them. But like I said, it's highly enjoyable. I recommend you go and check it out, just to see for yourselves, and if you haven't seen it before, then where have you been? Oh, right, Call of Duty, right, yeah. You can find Home Alone on Netflix. You can find it on any good DVD retailer. One website I can recommend is Amazon or Play. Very good websites. The sequel, Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. I might cover that next year because I've got a bunch of other movies planned for Christmas. Not as good as the first movie, but, you know, it's worth checking out. And just stop there. I hear that to Home Alone 5 now. With that in mind, everybody, we come to the end of another Reaction and Review UK. I have been Random, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.
See the garbage can full of salt? That's where he keeps his victims. The salt turns the bodies into mummies.
You think that's scary? Wait till he tells him about Slender Man. Oh, they wrote a song about me.
You're the king of spin.